right.
Is he gonna count us down?
Oh, we're rolling.
Oh.
Live from New York,
Let's cue the music.
this is WIUR Radio.
Welcome back. What's up, fight fans? Welcome back. Ignore the technical errors you just saw. Couldn't get the music on time.
Yep.
We'll get there next week.
It happens. It happens.
All right, Joe, question.
Yes.
Let's say you're an 185-pound middle. Say you're like in the bottom of the UFC, maybe like outside of the UFC fighting. You get a call. Step in at 320, 5 days notice. The opponent's Ateba Gutierrez. What are you saying?
See, the natural answer is to say no, because you're gonna lose. You're probably gonna get finished. You're gonna get knocked out quick. But if you're on the regional scene, it's like, and you have a chance to step into the UFC and get like your name at least out there, because then you're in good graces with the promotion at least. Like Dana White's looking at you like, all right, this kid was willing to do it. I'll give him another shot.
But you are just like
but you're just a sacrifice at that point.
Hey, if the check was handsome enough, I think any fighter would do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would do it if I got paid well, but it's not. You're not going to win. You can't go in expecting to win.
Go in expecting that. Hey,
no.
What's the catch weight, man? Maybe they can.
I don't know.
Chin max and show up at like 240 pounds.
Yeah, even then. Even then, you're still screwed.
People call him the technical Ngannou, the 185-pound Ngannou.
Yeah, I know that's dangerous.
Dangerous.
That's dangerous.
He's putting people out bad.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that and more on this episode of Octagon Antics. Thank you all for coming in and listening. UFC Perth, Olberg Reyes. Talk about our predictions real quick.
Yeah.
We're both wrong. I technically was right, but I said it was going to be a slow decision, pitter patter.
And listen, it was a slow first round. It definitely was, but it picked up quick.
Yeah.
It picked up quick.
It was too quick. Too quick.
I'm sitting there at my house. I was about to text a few of my friends and just say, yeah, it feels like a feeling out round. Nobody's really doing too much. And then all of a sudden, boom, just cracked him.
I will say Carlos Olberg did look in charge.
He did.
His hands were solid, and he's so good off the back foot to the point where he's pressuring and drawing something out, but still countering off that back foot.
Yeah.
He's just sliding back with the check hook. Beautiful performance. And that wrapped 1-2 around the guard. Beautiful.
He fought a perfect fight. He fought a perfect fight to that fight. Olberg. I'm talking not Dom Reyes. Dom Reyes looked he looked timid. He was scared.
Shaky. And when he would go in, he would kind of lunge in and just cover up and not really he'd lunge in with no intent to throw anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if he threw his hands a little more, maybe he would have got the respect of Carlos Olberg. But the time when he tried to close the distance a little too recklessly, even with his guard up, Olberg, just a precise striker, can wrap around that.
The angle he took on the right hand was perfect.
Yeah,
it was really so good.
And then the follow-up too, when he was already on the ground, it did kind of just skim him, but enough to really put him out.
Yeah.
Crazy good performance and set the bar really high for 205ers.
Yeah.
Especially looking at what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, we don't have to really predict the fight yet, but do you think that there's anything that could go on? By the way, anybody watching that's not aware, Yuri Prohaska is fighting Khalil Roundtree this weekend on the pay-per-view that's coming up. So do you think that anything is either one of them could put on a performance on Saturday that could really jump Olberg in the line for the title shot?
Man, considering Olberg just beat Jan Blachowicz as well before that,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't an amazing fight, but the fact that he got a first-round knockout against Dominic Reyes kind of puts you up there.
Yeah, exactly. It's he needed something big, and he got something big. He got exactly what he needed.
I think depending on the outcome of the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, we could see a number of outcomes. If Alex Pereira retains his title, maybe they just book the trilogy, or maybe they go somewhere else being Carlos Olberg. But if Yuri wins against Khalil, doesn't matter how convincingly, I doubt to think that they would rebook that fight for the third time.
No, Yuri is screwed if Alex wins.
I think
that's not happening again.
The best case scenario for Yuri is Magomed wins pretty convincingly, and he wins like a good finish or
dominantly.
But we know Khalil's tough. I feel like what a Yuri win would look like would be a really gritty, bite down the mouthpiece.
You know what you're getting when Yuri fights.
Yuri, that Jamal Hill fight was really, really good.
It was great.
I watched that the other day, and the difference between Jamal Hill and that fight and the Jamal Hill and the Khalil Roundtree fight was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sad to see his glow down.
Mhm.
But speaking of Jamal Hill, we're getting back to UFC Perth here. I think that Dominic Reyes versus Jamal Hill would be a good follow-up fight.
It makes sense.
And it's like, I feel like from the perspective of both fighters, they'd be very willing to take this fight.
Yeah.
Because I think they're about the same in the rankings. It might be like 8 and 7, something like that. For Jamal Hill, this beats getting thrown to the wolves. This beats facing like an Azamat Mirzakhanov or like a Bogdan Guskov, something like that. I think both guys would want this fight, and I think it's a pretty big fight.
It is. It's a noteworthy fight. You have two good names that are in there, both off losses, obviously. Jamal off a few losses, but it's like a good get right fight for Jamal if he was to win it. And then also Dom he just challenged the top guy in the division, got finished. So Jamal is naturally on the trajectory that Jamal's on. He'd be a nice little bounce back fight or a bounce back performance.
Honestly, I wouldn't know who to predict for that one.
I don't know
I
either.
think Jamal Hill can mix it up pretty good against a guy like Dominic Reyes,
Mhm.
who's not like as quick as maybe he once was. Also, I did want to bring up about Dominic Reyes. He came into fight week not in the best shape. I don't know if you've been noticing this in his fight weeks ever since, I think against Dustin Jacoby, when he was really motivated, he came in looking really lean. But ever since then, I mean, he's not as conditioned as like when you compared him and Olberg on like the weigh-ins and like the face-offs, the ceremonial face-offs. Like Olberg put on a lot more muscle, and noticeably, I feel like Dominic Reyes probably isn't as big, like physically big, in the light heavyweight division now, as opposed to when he was on his come up facing guys like Joe Jones. Light heavyweight is an interesting division. I won't say it's like super talent rich or like talent deep, but there is like guys on the come up who can like stir it up a little bit.
There is. It's a division that's had a bad rep over the last few years, especially before Pereira took the belt.
Yeah.
And kind of gave it a little bit of notoriety.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the greatest position.
Yeah, the fact that I think he was like 40 at the time, 40-year-old Glover Teixeira one, kind of speaks to it a little bit. But he took the belt off Jan Blachowicz, who a lot of people thought would beat John Jones. So it's got to mean something. I'm a big fan of Glover Teixeira, but if there's a 40-year-old champ in any division, you got to.
That's not a good look.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for the promotion.
But since then, it was kind of crazy. Like Yuri was the interim champ, or took the champion from Glover Teixeira, gets injured, has that really bad shoulder injury, and then
he vacates it. Jamal Hill beats Glover for it.
Yeah, Jamal Hill beats up a 40. Also, it might have been 40 still.
Yeah,
Glover for that in Rio, which was just bad vibes. Everybody walked out for Glover's retirement speech. And since then, it's been like guys getting in, like Jamal Hill tears his Achilles, and then you book Pereira versus Yuri for that interim, and there was like the controversy behind the stop. Oh, was it early?
Yeah, early stoppage or not?
And then it feels like guys like Magomed and Ankalaev get left behind when maybe he probably should have got a fight before 3:15, 16.
Yeah, I don't remember the number. But he was overdue.
He was overdue, and him having the Johnny Walker rematch really held him back, because then he had to fight Rakic after that, which I mean easily took care of, but it just takes more time. And I think he's not sure how old he is off the top of my head, but these guys have a limit, and you know when you're delaying where you want to be for so long, I'm sure it's like painful for him.
Can you imagine how different the division would be if in the first Johnny Walker fight, you remember he threw the flying knee when he faked the.
Just knocked him out.
Can you imagine if he knocked him out, how it would look right now?
Johnny Walker on top.
Johnny Walker fighting for a title.
There was a blissful time where people thought Johnny Walker would beat John Jones.
He was next up.
This is the guy.
And then I love Johnny Walker, but
coming off a big win.
He did get a big one. He did get a big one.
Hey, Johnny Walker on the rise.
Yeah.
And his brother's fighting pretty soon.
Is he?
Vitor Walker on the Rio card.
Okay.
We're shooting for 4 leg locks in a row.
I love
them both. They're both great characters.
They are.
I think his brother's hilarious. Let's get back to Perth.
Yeah.
We'll talk about UFC Rio a little bit because they just confirmed the bout order.
That they did, yes.
For October, but let's talk about the co-main. Yvonne Urslan versus Jimmy Crute. You're the WWE guy. What kind of choke was that?
That you have here, I know it's a bulldog choke. If I had to compare that to a WWE move, I don't know if you've ever watched WWE in your life.
I watched like the compilation.
Okay, there's one wrestler. His name is Rusev, and it's good that I could talk a little bit about WWE today because I didn't come in earlier for my 1 o'clock show. So there's one wrestler called Rusev, and his finisher, he calls it the Accolade, and it looks exactly like the choke that Crute hit in the co-main on Saturday. It's almost identical. It's almost like literally get up on the back, you pull the arms are off to the side, and you just crank the neck. It's literally exactly that. It looked identical. It looked identical. That was a crazy choke. I never thought.
Crazy fight.
You never think you'd see that in a UFC fight.
Jimmy Crute is surprisingly like nimble and good on the ground for a light heavyweight.
He looked
did,
really
a
good.
Sweep and like a reversal that I was pretty surprised by.
Mhm.
And then gets the sub, as like comedic as it may look.
Yeah,
It's still a submission.
it worked.
That's
You've seen some crazy submissions recently. Like if you think about it, even if you go back to like last year when Hamzat just cranked Rob's jaw. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
You had that one. Then you had when Fluffy fought Dolidze and he literally just dragged him across the octagon. You've seen some crazy ones. That one was probably that might be the worst. That might be the worst one of all of them because that just
on the ground too, flat.
Yeah.
And his face after like he just sunk down. He was like, oh,
yeah.
he knew it. Okay, prospect watch. I wrote here, you need to watch any prospect that signs to fight Neil Magny. They are not winning that fight.
They're not safe.
They are not safe.
We mentioned this last week.
I was
Getting Neil
convinced.
Magny is a real thing.
I was bought in on the Jake Matthews comeback train.
And he looked good.
And to be fair, his team's appealing the decision as we speak because like the whole controversy surrounding the end of the first round.
Yeah, it looked like they stopped the fight and then he corrected himself when he realized. Yeah, he realized, oh, end of the round. I could just say, oh, end of the round, like continue the fight. Neil wasn't out.
But the thing is,
he wasn't out.
He wasn't out. And for people who say like, oh, Jake Matthews had an adrenaline dump after that. His best round was the second round.
Mhm.
So I don't really know if there's an excuse you can kind of label with that. I think he kind of got bested by Magny.
I feel like they think
Magnied.
he did get magnied. I feel like they think that if he had those extra because he stopped it a couple seconds before the bell. So I feel like if they thought he had a couple more seconds to crank it, like he would have put him out. I think that's what they're appealing, kind of.
Maybe
It's not
but
like
I mean, the
it's
thing is, I think they're appealing the fact that he did stop the fight.
yeah.
I think that maybe it could get overturned to a no contest. I really wouldn't be surprised considering like it ended in a finish too, where it's like, oh, you could I guess you could make the argument there was an adrenaline dump if you were appealing that. But
Neil Magny
for him in
has
Australia too.
As of right now, Neil Magny back-to-back wins.
Back-to-back wins, dude. Back in the rankings soon, man. Let's give him.
Let's do it.
Who's low?
The
Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
That's a good
The
fight.
ultimate gatekeeper. They fought before, but they can fight again. They're in that position. Yeah.
Why not? Run it
Yeah.
back.
Do it again. Do it again.
Like
Get him
Georgie.
a ranked fight. Make
love
him
that.
fight back into the rankings. Don't make him fight the upcomers. Let him try and get back into the rankings.
Love Neil Magny. Trooper. 40. He could go to at least like 46.
Yeah.
I give him like another 4 years.
I know. I don't know. He just keeps finding a way. And it's like these prospects he's beating, he's losing the fights, but then he just finds a way to finish. Like when he fought Mike Malott, he was losing and then he found a
He
way.
does it to guys. I'm like, yeah.
These guys are good.
These guys are good. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you over the Neil Magny hump, but
Mhm.
never. I will say, you kind of just knew Carlos Pradas was going to get him.
Yeah, that was inevitable.
And
He
that
gets
was-
everyone.
Yeah.
He gets everyone. The only person he's not got is Ian Gary, and Ian Gary almost got in the 5th round. So
Yeah, that was a good fight. It's annoying how good Ian Gary is.
yeah.
Because his boxing, like it was obviously movement heavy. That's how Ian Gary kind of gets his groove on. But when he put shots together in that fight, he looked really good. And it just overall speaks to the talent in that 170-pound division.
Yeah.
The fact that Neil Magny is still putting guys back.
Yeah, it's crazy. But 170 is in a good spot.
He's in a great spot.
Yeah. I really like that division.
Oh, and we'll definitely talk more about that 322 fight week.
Mhm.
Just considering what Islam Makhachev means to
Mhm.
that division.
I don't know what a lot of people think. I have a controversial one on that fight.
Oh, soon. We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah. In a month.
Jack Jenkins. Oh, that was a good fight. That was a good fast-paced fight.
It was a good fight. I was getting a little, if I remember correctly, he kept throwing the body kick early on. It was like body kick, body kick, body kick. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, you got to spit. And then he went head and he wobbled him. and he didn't get the
Tavares
finish.
is a good chin. Tavares
Yeah.
is a real good chin.
Yeah, he took
I
some
think that was
shots.
the first time he's been rocked in his career. I remember him taking some pretty good shots at 135, but I think he was overly going to that body because of the weakness. Like you
Yeah.
kind of like punish him for it. Maybe test his cardio, see where he's at.
Probably, yeah.
Wise. Big win for him. It was a close fight. I will say that lighter man's skill kind of carried. I think some of the boxing exchanges, Tavares was getting some really good looks in, and leg kicks early were very good optically for the judge too. But that's a Jack Jenkins thing, man. Heavy kicks.
He got a 30-27 on 2 cards, right?
He got 30-27 on 2 judges and then a 29-28. But there were a couple rounds that I thought were close.
It was a good fight. I thought it was fine.
Tom Nolan, that was a crazy fight.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight.
That was a crazy fight. I think he was an underdog. Oh no, he wasn't. He was the favorite going into this. But Charlie Campbell like really came out in the pressure, and I think like there was a couple times when he got stung.
Yeah,
and like kind of faltered in that, and then let Tom Nolan get comfortable in kicking range, and then his pressure and kind of like recklessness got him down to the ground, which
ended up getting choked out. He jumped on the choke fast.
Yeah, and Tom Nolan, long limbs, like tough. I think
he's a lanky guy.
Yeah, lanky guy.
But that was his first submission win, they said.
Oh, in the UFC or
I don't remember if they said his career in the UFC, but I think it was in the UFC, if I'm not wrong. But
long legs, long arms,
yeah,
very lanky guy. He has that Neil Magny frame.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
I've seen a lot of like future matchmakings for Neil Magny. It's like all types of prospects, and it just speaks to like the 170, like how many like prospects down the line we have too.
Yeah.
Going back to that.
Yeah.
And okay, Navajo Sterling.
Another one.
A lot of people expected a finish in that, but Rodolfo Bellato looked very tough in there.
He did. He took some shots.
And then I really liked Sterling's like diversity in strikes. He was going for elbows, some knees. When he was at kicking range, he would mix it up a lot, but he wouldn't. A lot of guys are insistent on kicking even when guys are crashing. Navajo was very patient and picked his shots very well, so that when Bellato crashed in, he would never catch him off balance, and he took the shots very well. Yeah,
it was a good performance. He looked good. He landed what he needed to land. He got the win. So I mean,
I wrote just how good is a Paul Craig up kick.
Yeah, I saw that again today. I rewatched that today. That's incredible still.
Dude, real strength. I mean,
because
Paul Craig should come out of retirement.
The best part of that whole thing, watching it back, was when he lands it and he just looks at the ref going down. He just goes, and then once he hits the ground, he's just out. It's like, you're clearly not out.
Hey, you never know, man. Maybe Paul Craig got some real power behind that.
I don't know. We'll never find out now because retired after getting finished. So we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Never know.
Prospect at 185, Cam Rouston had a real good finish early, and he was an underdog in that fight. I think he was plus 185.
Oh, was he?
Against Andre Petrosky.
I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. It might have been even towards the fight night, but Petrosky does not have the best chin.
The shot didn't look that hard.
Did not look that hard, and he did get KO'd by someone's hip on a shot. Takedown. So take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, he did look good, and.
Well, listen, with Cam Rouston, I saw him fight on the Contender Series. He only fought I think they said.
Torres Finney, right?
No, he fought twice on it. He lost to Torres Finney, I think last year, and then which Dana didn't give him the contract off that. Torres Finney, I'm talking about because he didn't like the performance. Yeah. But Cam Rouston came back. He fought again a month and a half ago, I think, and he got a knockout. And then Dana gave him the contract. He said he likes him. And
month and a half, that's a good turnaround.
Yeah, I think they said 6 weeks. Because he wanted to fight. He asked to fight on this card, so they gave him a fight. Fairly notable. Fairly notable name, and he got the finish in the first round. So, I mean.
That's good. That's a good way to jumpstart your UFC career.
Yeah, not bad.
People said that a big weakness of his was his takedown defense. But I think part of fighting Torres Finney is just there's a chance you get handled by him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Andre Petrosky is a wrestler, and he didn't get him down.
No.
He didn't shoot a lot. It was mostly a stand-up fight, but the fact that he didn't get the looks to take him down says something about Rouston's improvement.
He definitely worked on it after that Finney fight because that's what he got beat by last year by Finney. Is
And
just getting manhandled.
yeah,
pretty
I think
much.
it was like 11 minutes of control time.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the stats on ESPN, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I know exactly how this fight was won.
Mhm.
And then lastly, Alexa Tayanara. I was surprised Luma Lumbukmi got ranked. She was one of those like AI rankings that just kind of slid in there off of no real win. But she is good, and she has some real like Thai skills. She's very good in that Thai clinch, which was surprising because Tayanara really outmuscled her in that sense or in that aspect of the fight, and landed some really nice trips as well. And again, so she had really good pressure against the cage. I like Luma Lookbook Me though. I think she's a really good style, and that's a good win from her. That was the first fight of the night. I think Tainara like probably has a decent fan base because she retired Molly McCann in London. If you remember that.
Molly McCann's boxing now.
Hey, she
Hearing
had
that?
a big win.
She did get a win.
Good for her,
She
get
did
that
get a win.
bag. But I think she has a decent fan base, and she trains with I think Amanda Lemos. So she has some pretty good teammates. I think she can make it pretty high in that division. But that's everything for Perth.
Mhm.
Got a couple announcements. Are you interested in having your voice heard? Interested in hosting a show on WIUR? Email our president Robbie Basil or come by the station. Murphy 3. What room is this?
This one right now, I don't know. It's
Well,
the studio.
It's the big studio with the
Across
big
the hall is
window.
319.
There's a
So
big window behind us. You can't miss it.
no, you can't miss
Come
it.
in or email Robbie, get some more information, and we'll get you on there.
Yep. And I just want to say that we're going to shout out the newest show of the week winner called Beyond the Scoreboard. You can make sure to check out their show every Tuesday at 11 a.m. only on WIUR radio. I did not retain the title this week. I had it last week. I didn't retain it this week. So maybe we'll get it today.
Maybe this time.
Maybe we'll get it today. We got to lock in.
All
I don't know.
UFC 320, big fight week feels. When was
Yes.
the last pay-per-view we had 2 title fights on?
I don't off the top of my head.
It was the Marab one. The last because Pena, not Pena. What's her name? The 135 women's champion.
Yeah. Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison
Yes.
was on that.
Yes, you're right. When was that? June?
I think so.
June.
Which just speaks to Marab's turnaround.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Rob's having a great year.
Rob's having a stellar year, and he said he wants to fight in December.
Yeah.
If he can fight 4 championship fights in a calendar year,
And win 4?
that automatically makes him the bantamweight GOAT. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that year alone.
I feel like he is already.
I think he is already, but
I think
like,
he
for
is.
the people who are trying to debate, I'm gonna just be like 2025 Marab.
He's got to be careful though this weekend. We'll talk about that in a second because he said something today that I don't think is going to play in his favor if he follows through on what he said. But we'll talk
Yeah.
about that in a second.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
Got to talk about the main event
The
first.
Main event, yeah.
The most important fight of the night, of course.
We were talking about this earlier, talking about Carlos Olberg and a little bit of Yuri and Khalil Roundtree.
Mhm.
This is a big fight, and the outcome of this affects the division a lot. Because if Ankalaev retains his championship, Alex Pereira's not fighting for a championship.
No.
He has to fight down in the rankings. Someone's going to be shot up because Alex kind of cleared out that division a tad bit at like the 1 through like 3, and then like some people down below.
Yeah, he
in the
did.
rankings. But now that Ankalaev's there, a lot of matchups open up,
Mhm.
and a lot of fresh matchups. I think a lot of people want to see Yuri versus Ankalaev.
I wouldn't mind. I would like that fight.
I think that'd be a great fight, and I think Yuri poses real problems to Ankalaev that Alex Pereira might not.
Well, Yuri's posed problems to everybody he's fought so far except Alex, really.
That's
Even in the first fight he did.
I think I believe Yuri when he says he was on some voodoo stuff.
Yeah,
I
that
honestly think
guy,
he was.
he's a character. So, I mean, you never really know.
That guy,
Yeah, I
yeah.
take everything he says like as 100%. He's just that type of guy. I don't know.
Yeah, you take him at face value.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else to take him at.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah, I love Yuri.
Samurai. Let's talk about the first fight a little bit. I rewatched it. I actually, for a while, I blocked that in my mind. I'm not-
Pereira Ankalaev, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I rewatched it like this weekend, and then sometime before that. I think it was like maybe last weekend. And there really wasn't a whole lot to even discuss. The speed advantage was real from Ankalaev, and it made it that even if Alex Pereira was on the pressure, he could throw something and take Alex off rhythm, which is tough for a guy like Alex, who is a guy who very much stalks his prey. Quote
Yeah.
unquote. I'm sure Joe Rogan said that like a million times.
Oh, definitely.
But it's if you can disrupt Alex Pereira's rhythm, especially when he's in like that hunt mode, you pose a real problem, and it makes him a little tentative. I would argue he was tentative in the last fight.
He definitely was. And Ankalaev landed the biggest shot of the last fight. If you remember, I think it was a left hand that buckled him.
Yeah, it was Alex
towards
Pereira.
the end of. Was it the second
It
round?
was the second round.
Yeah.
Was Alex Pereira, like I said, being tentative. He sort of like half throws a kick, half, and then comes back to feint it, and his hips are squared for a sec. Then Ankalaev just goes with the overhand and lands clean on his chin. He said he wasn't rocked. I partially believe him, but the shot caught him off balance because his hips were squared. So like you could make the argument that he just fell back because he was off balance.
It definitely was not visually.
It scored bad. At
Yeah.
the very least.
Ankh did fight. He fought a good fight the last time out. He definitely was the winner. There was some people complaining about it because naturally people don't like Ankalaev.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the Russian bias that some people have against just Russian fighters in general. But
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Sean O'Malley lost to Marab and everyone was like 1-3-5 O'Malley.
Yes, yeah, that was ridiculous. That was a clear Marab win.
Like that was the easiest.
It's
Marab
like
win.
You have to understand, like you cannot like somebody, but you know they win the fight. Was it a barn burner? Was it like the greatest fight of all time? No, but he won the fight. Yeah. Pereira defended his wrestling well. And that was one thing going into it, that for some reason, some people thought Ankalaev's going to wrestle him and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. But it's like
the speed advantage was what was most present.
And Ankalaev is not that, like, he's not known for his wrestling.
Yeah.
And that showed in the fight because he didn't land us in, I think he shot what, 10 or 11 takedowns and didn't land them.
He was trying to get a takedown, but he was just stuck to the fence.
Yeah.
I'm scared that this might be a little more of a smudge, like against the fence fight. Like, I could see a world where like Marab and Corey put on a show and then they come out and it's just Ankalaev kind of holding them the whole time.
Yeah.
Because Alex might be like a little better, like might have the read on him a little more on the feet because Alex Pereira is better going into rematches.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of what you want to say about the Adesanya rematch, he made a tactical error and got punished for it. But up to that point, he was really, really getting the better of Adesanya.
Yeah, he was. He just got a little careless.
And
got slept.
He's not making that mistake at light heavyweight.
No, I don't think so.
He's not rushing in at all. And there's no like heat behind these fights. I mean, maybe there is a little heat behind these fights. He's putting on a bit of a persona this fight week.
Mm-hmm.
He's they did an ad for Google Translate, the UFC PI this week, where they were talking crap in Russian, Brazilian, and there was just someone translating, like two different Google Translate.
That's funny.
And they were both talking smack.
I don't know. There was that whole thing with Pereira when he tweeted out that he wasn't happy with the UFC and that he was thinking about retiring. And then he said he got hacked, and then he admitted that he didn't get hacked, and he wrote it. Yeah.
I think he knows. He's 38. He knows his number of fights are limited. I think he's tactically trying to get.
That's the craziest part too, is that he burst on so late. Yeah. And he was this good.
And he just like took over right away. Two-weight champion.
He was running people, like he was literally just running through people.
He went through 185 is crazy. And imagine a world where he just kind of committed to 205 earlier. Like his frame would be probably more suited to stopping the wrestling.
Yeah. I really don't understand looking back how he made 185 pounds. Why? He should have never made that weight.
Also, like, the only reason was for Adesanya, because if you looked at 205 at the time, it was wide open. There were like wrestlers at the top, but there wasn't a lot of talent in the division at that point. And he really could have, because I think in Glory he was fighting at 205 at that point, so he was cutting back down to 85 when he entered the UFC. But ultimately, the Adesanya fights were probably his most profitable fights. Him beating him in the first one, I'm sure, made him a boatload of money.
Yeah, and if you look at 205 when he came in, from when he came in till now, the champions that came after, like if you think about it, Blachowicz, it was Blachowicz, Glover, Yuri, Hill, and then him.
Yeah.
He beat 3 of them. The only one he didn't beat, he's good friends with. So it's like, he could have came in earlier. He could have came in earlier and won that belt earlier.
Probably cleaned up. Probably could have cleaned up. And if he did come in earlier, like they say, like Alex Pereira is getting better every fight week or every time he fights, just because he's like still developing as a mixed martial artist with the takedown defense and kind of what to do like with defense and on the ground. He does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but you kind of got to question it a little bit. He's no Charles Oliveira black belt.
No, I don't know how he got that.
I think they gave it to him after he knocked out Yuri.
Yeah, you get a black belt off a knockout. That's a little. I've never seen Pereira threaten a submission in a UFC fight.
I've seen him pull a guillotine on the fence. That's about it.
He tried once.
That's the limits to his
yeah, not black belt worthy, I'd say, but
let's get back to that. Like Alex Pereira on the ground. Do you think we might see Magomed try to wrestle a little more, impose his wrestling?
I think he's going to try and implement a very similar strategy to the first fight because it's what worked.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're going to hold him on the fence, like nobody's going to be thrilled about it, but you're going to win the rounds.
Yeah.
If you're just holding him there like he did last time. But I think he might feel comfortable in the hands now, though, because he did win the striking exchanges.
I think both guys might feel a little more comfortable with the hands.
I think so.
And also, I would say before in the 5th round, before they got to the clinch, I would say Alex Pereira was kind of handedly beating him at kickboxing range.
Yeah.
Because of pressure. Ankalaev's pressure wasn't as high. But that being said, I will say his conditioning looked good, Ankalaev. So I don't know if there's a world where we see a late finish for Pereira. Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, he always carries heavy hands.
Do you think this fight goes similar to the first one, or do you think it's going to be different? I like to believe it's going to be different.
Honestly, I think Alex is going to get him, man.
I hope so.
I think he's going to get him. I just like what I saw in the first fight. Like Pereira got like beat soundly.
He did.
I didn't see anything that was like super overly imposing.
No, it wasn't like
gettable.
It didn't look like Ankalaev was just going to go out there and beat him for all 5 rounds, and he's not going to have a chance, like only a puncher's chance. Like it looked like it was a competitive fight. It wasn't like just a one-way destruction.
And the fact that he didn't get any
was
takedowns, was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jan Blachowicz got a takedown on Alex Pereira. Magomed Ankalaev didn't.
Yeah.
That says something at 205.
What's the official prediction? What are we rolling with?
Oh man, the official prediction.
I'll put it out there now. I'm picking Alex Pereira because I think a knockout would be the best possible outcome. And I feel like he's one of the most exciting champions in the UFC when he had the belt. So I'd like him to get it back. And it's nothing other than hopefully he finds a shot and regains the belt. That's what I'm going with. I think he finds something at some point.
I'm still stuck up in my head.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira is 38. Alex Pereira, I sound the alarms, guys. Alex Pereira is 38. And a lot was made of like the 35 year, like after you pass that 35 number, like the drop off, especially when Volk got KO'd back to back. That narrative kind of popped around. But since then, Volk got his belt back, and Pantoja's 36 defending his belt. Those are lighter weights too.
Who's going to beat Pantoja? I have no idea.
Pantoja.
I have no idea. Fighting Josh Van, though, that's going to be good.
Concerning. 36 is like, all right, he's still, but 38, and that man has a long fight career, boxing and kickboxing. Started MMA recently. I don't really think he's dealt with any injuries. He had like that broken toe, but no like major injuries to note for Alex Pereira. So I'm going with him. I like it. I'm going with Alex.
It's the exciting outcome.
It's the exciting outcome. He gets better in rematches, and he's fired up on fight week. I can tell you he looks more motivated. He's talking a little bit of smack, which I like. I think it's partly him just trying to promote the fight and get that bag. He's getting out of here soon. And also, maybe there is a little bit of heat behind it. I'd like to think so. Maybe Alex Pereira has some smoke in his hands this time.
I hope so.
I hope so.
That'd be fun.
I mean, characteristically in an Alex Pereira fight, we see a lot of like that lead jab to the body. And in the first fight with Ankalaev, we barely saw that at all, just because they were against each other in the open stances. Maybe we see Alex Pereira play with southpaw a little bit. Maybe we see some adjustments. Maybe he just goes back to the body jab, even though they're in opposite stances. I hope he gets his kicking game on. Ankalaev had good pressure and did very much smudge his kicking game, and he wasn't really able to use it effectively.
Well, if you're Ankalaev, you don't want to get leg kicked by Pereira. You saw what happened when he got leg kicked by Jan.
Right. But I mean, he took him pretty well in the first fight, and That open stance makes it a little harder. If they were the same stance, he could just like throw that lead leg kick, easy peasy, because he hides it so well. But coming off the same side, it's a little bit easier to turn out and check it. All right, yeah, but I'm sticking with Pereira. I like Pereira. I think he gets better in rematches. I think that Glover Teixeira is a very high-level coach. I think he can make adjustments going into it. I don't know what type of adjustments that Ankalaev can make.
I don't know. I feel like he fought the fight that he needed to fight the first time around. I don't know how that changes.
Yeah, because you're not gonna alter that fight. That's the fight you fought. But Pereira now has that, and I feel like if he can stop the wrestling, he should have the utmost confidence. Because also he's going into this fight knowing he can stop the wrestling.
Yeah.
So like think about Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3, when Leon was very confident in himself, him being the champion, knowing that he can stop the wrestling. This being a little more of a different scenario, but I think that number one, the fact that Leon Edwards came into that fight as the champion. Number two, the fact that he came into that fight knowing he can stop the takedowns very much aided in his confidence going into there.
Yeah.
So maybe we see that with Alex Pereira, other than the fact that he's not coming in as the champion. So where does that kind of leave his confidence at?
I have high hopes for him.
I have high hopes for him. I hope there's a little more output in this fight. Talking about output, let's get to the next fight.
It's going to be a lot of it.
I hope so. And I think if Corey wants to win, he has to have a lot of output. He needs to, not necessarily early, but like maybe you want to get ahead early. Like if you can get the first 2 rounds, like there's a world where, because Corey's a very technical grappler, he's always making the right decisions. Umar Nurmagomedov controlled him, but couldn't get any type of position on him. Very good at the Granby roll, and has a very good 50-50 game with those leg locks. So when you're like wrestling a single leg and Merab likes to pull him down, there's a chance where Corey's level to get a leg. And Corey Sandhagen's smart. Corey knows when like the leg is there to submit and when the leg is there to like change your position. When he fought Figueiredo, he played that very, very smartly. There was Michael Bisping was actually like talking crap on the mic saying, "What are you doing, Corey?" But this was the second round after Figgy kind of dropped for a leg 3 times in the first round. Corey dropped for the leg. Figgy lowered his level, and then Corey just got up and got on a level higher than him. And it was a bit of a sprawl, but it ended with Corey and I think side control, just on the fact that he had his level higher. And he's a lanky guy. So if he can get you down to address the leg, firstly, when he kind of gets out of those situations, those 50-50s are more winnable for him.
Yeah.
And he's a very smart guy. He's a tactician.
I find it crazy it's only his first fight. I think it's his first time fighting for the undisputed belt.
For the undisputed belt, yes. But he did his fight against
Jan.
Peter Yan was for
interim yeah.
Fight, title fight.
It's about time.
But he's familiar with that 5-round scenario, like that 5-round
set. Yeah.
He's main evented a lot. Main evented the Song Yadong, Cheeto, Rob Font. Like very comfortable in that 5 rounds. But that being said, he hasn't main evented against Merab.
He is fighting the king of the 5-round fight.
That is
the king of the 5 rounds.
Weaponized like 5 rounds. And this is the craziest thing. The Merab pace, he's like, oh, stretch it out over 5 rounds. No one can keep up. Going back to the Henry Cejudo fight at 298, he was tired after the 2nd round, like gassed. I do think Henry Cejudo broke his forearm in that fight, so that could like be part of it. But he was so gassed going into round 3, and Henry Cejudo was fit going into the Song Yadong fight. So it just speaks to the pace that Merab pushes.
It's insane.
Like
it's ridiculous.
Like Merab. Okay, so looking at like Umar Nurmagomedov versus Corey Sandhagen going into Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab, I would argue the pace was high versus Sandhagen, like decently high. There was a lot of like mixing it up. There was striking and grappling, but the pace he set against, or the pace that was set against him versus Merab, like wiped him to the point where like he was breathing so heavy in the 5th round with nothing left, like could barely defend strikes, but hands down, like couldn't keep his hands up. He was so gassed. So it really is a weaponized pace, and as much as people say it, nobody can stop it.
No, because he's coming at the same it's the same speed for all 5 rounds. Like he doesn't slow down.
Yeah.
It's the same thing constantly. And obviously, naturally, anybody else is going to slow down a little bit, but he just doesn't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he was blessed with that. He was blessed with that. He's a freak.
I saw a video on my timeline of like it was like Captain Marab as a third lung, and I'm sure some of y'all have seen it before. It's this video of him like at a resort, and he like dives into one end of the pool, and he's like swimming underwater for like maybe like 2 minutes to the other side of it,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Let's go, guys, let's go." It's just so Marab, and he really like he might actually have a third lung.
He might.
It wouldn't shock me.
He might. Now, one thing I wanted to note about this fight that I alluded to earlier is that earlier today, Marab was asked about this fight, and he claimed that 90% of this fight is going to be a stand-up fight. He says that he's not going to wrestle him. He says that 90% he's going to be exchanging strikes with him, which I don't know if that's that smart.
I think the thing is, he's going into this fight knowing that Corey doesn't really have like knockout power in his hands. So that's why he's saying this. But I think Corey's going to really mix it up. We'll talk more about this. Let's finish talking about the quote that he said. But I'm going to address some of the things that Corey can do to mix it up to maybe make it a little hard for Marab. But if I think Marab does want this to stand up, and I think he just wants to set a pace. I think he wants to get Corey on the back foot immediately. I don't think he wants to have because Corey doesn't really put his hands together that like throw his hands in succession a whole lot. He does have like pitter patter, like jab out there. He'll throw it like on repeat, but he won't really like move on the front foot with his boxing a lot. So I think Marab really, really wants to set that pace and on the feet, just getting him backing up the whole time, unable to sit down on any kicks or any punches. That's maybe why he has the confidence to even say this.
I saw somebody suggest that if he stands up and actually follows through with this, that it could end up looking like Jack Della Maddalena versus Bilal Muhammad.
I like that comp. I really like Corey. I think what Corey needs to do, he likes to he's very tactical with his stance switches. He doesn't have that problem that Adesanya has, where he's like vulnerable to be getting caught with them. He still could get caught because he is like switching his hips, but he's very smart about it. He drills it with Trevor Whitman constantly. Just the range he needs to be at and like where his opponent's positioning. But I think he needs to threaten the knee a lot off the stance switch because Marab's going to want a time when his hips are together. So he's going to shoot a lot. Or he's going to aim to shoot when Corey's switching stances because you don't have your base to push back and create space to get your hips out.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of stuck passing your leg up. If Corey can threaten the knee from there, the thing is, he'll land it and he'll get taken down maybe. But I trust Corey Sandhagen in these scrambles. I trust him to stuff the head, maybe scoot his hips back, get to the cage. I think if he threatens that knee a lot, it might discourage Marab. And we've seen him get worked to the body a little bit. He had that moment in the 5th round against Sean O'Malley from the teep kick, which I think is something else Corey Sandhagen could exploit. Stuff up the middle against Marab is good. He's good at parrying stuff. Like he gets the read, he has good eyes, but it is effective and it has worked against him before. And I think a couple question mark kicks landed in the Umar fight against Marab.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the main thing is Corey cannot be gun shy on fight night. If he comes out too like respecting of Marab's wrestling and he's just like moving the whole time, he will not win this fight. I think he needs to be, and Trevor Whitman said this in the embedded or the countdowns. But he needs to be okay getting taken down and work getting back up just so that he can get his offense off when he's standing up.
Yeah, because if you stand there and you're too scared to do anything, then you're not going to win.
And that's how Marab kind of lulls Sean O'Malley to sleep in that second fight, I feel like.
And I thought Marab was for sure getting cracked with something like a big knee or something going into the first O'Malley fight. I thought for sure he was getting hit with something like that.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought Marab would get him, I thought O'Malley would get him. But I liked what I saw in that fight. That was a really good fight. I will say I picked Marab against Umar. He was a plus 250 in that fight.
That was a good pick. A lot of people at Umar. I was going back and forth on it.
But my friend bets, and I told him, like, dude, the part, because I gave him it was not the good underdog on that card that I gave him. That cashed pretty well. But I told him, dude, bet Marab. He bet Umar loses. And like Marab decision was such like free money.
And he was down 2 rounds. And
yeah,
that's just the cardio again. Like that's
cardio.
exactly
He
what
was,
it
like,
is.
Weaponized. But
Literally.
let's move on. We got to run through some more fights real quick.
Yeah, we are running down on time.
We are running down on time. We'll blaze through these. Fury
Mhm.
versus Roundtree.
We touched on it a little bit already,
on it a
but
little bit,
the
but-
fight itself, how do you think that goes?
I think that Yuri outgrits Khalil. Khalil was talking a little crap on the interviews, saying that he's now um like so much better after the Pereira fight, and how his toughness like redefined him, and he's like no one else is capable of what Alex can do to him. And I don't know. I think Yuri can mix it up. He's probably gonna get his leg kicked a lot.
Mhm.
I could see Khalil winning via like a leg kick, or not. I could see Khalil winning via like Yuri being impaired by the leg kick and like not being able to move properly, because it was bad against
Yeah.
Rakic.
Yeah.
At UFC 300.
Yuri does bounce a lot.
He does bounce a lot, and the movement was hindered a little bit, but overall it was the pressure from Yuri that got to Rakic, which is something that I think we'll get to Khalil as well, because Jamal's pressure is so like constant and slow that you could really easily pick up on timing. But I feel like Yuri Prohaska is a different, like more explosive athlete.
How do you train? How do you train for Yuri?
I feel like you have to like go into training camp like mocking his like voodoo stuff.
Yeah.
Like you need to meet Yuri at base level.
It's not even
out samurai him.
Yeah, literally. And it's just his style is so weird too. Like it's just I don't know. It's hard to prepare for. The only person that's got him so far is Alex.
Alex has just kickboxed too much.
Yeah.
Can't kickbox Alex Pereira.
No.
He will, like the jab to the body. It was just too easy for him.
Yeah, I think the reason
Especially in the second
I think the reason Ankalaev had so much success in the first fight is because of the wrestling threat. And you saw he was clearly focused on it.
The threat was like Alex Pereira was very much threatened by the wrestling,
Mhm.
and it impaired his stand up, especially because Magomed Ankalaev is like a very bouncy, like level changey type of like boxing style, where he is like going up and down. So the level threat is always right there for
Yeah.
him. It's not like the shot you see coming. It's always right there for him.
Yeah.
But my bet, okay. Firstly, we got to do a bet on Marab versus Sandhagen.
We do. I think I'm just gonna roll with Marab, to be honest. I feel like it's hard. Like I don't want to be that guy that keeps picking against like who feels obvious. Because I feel like I do that all the time. I'll pick against the guy who feels obvious.
He is a what is it? A plus? He's a minus 400.
Yeah.
You
Big
can't argue
favorite.
with that sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's no amount of cardio that a guy like Corey Sandhagen can have to really deal with that.
No, it's hard. It's hard to beat Marab. I think I'll just pick Marab in all his fights until he loses.
Until he gets.
To be honest
The
with
thing is,
you,
I think he can get chinned in this fight.
He could.
He can get something up the middle.
he's been rocked before. Like it's happened.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah.
But then his fights are always so crazy that it's like, yeah, this guy you can't.
Yeah.
But let's run a bunch of prospects on this fight. I'm actually kind of hyped for some of these. Firstly, let's talk about Atebo Gutierrez versus Ozzy Diaz. This has the potential to get canceled. At the moment, they're still looking for a replacement fight, but Ozzy Diaz is out. That fight opened at a minus 1,000.
Reasonably so.
So I wonder what the odds would be if he has a replacement.
We talked about him at the top of the show. He's going to win probably regardless of who he fights.
Hopefully they get a fight for him, though. I really want to see him fight. And then maybe, if not now, very soon. Because I'm assuming he's in fight shape and can make the weight right now. But it sucks to see, because that was one of the prospects I was looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
But let's get back into the order of the card. So I think the featured fight. I think the featured fight is Josh Emmett versus Yusuf Zalal. It could be that or Abus Nurmagomedov versus Joe Pyfer. I'm pretty sure it's the Josh Emmett one, though. Plus 350 for Josh Emmett. I think he's on the out. If Lerone Murphy is very easily kind of handling you over 5 rounds, what do you have to offer? I mean, Dan Ige cracked Lerone Murphy bad, and Josh Emmett couldn't in 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think his hands are a bit slower. He looked really slow against Lerone Murphy, I thought.
Just when I see his name, all I can think of is the Bryce Mitchell knockout. Yeah. It's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
He still has that power.
He still has that power, and apparently he's getting stronger. That's what he's been saying.
That's dangerous.
But the thing I want to talk about this fight, Yusuf Zalal is coming off that performance against Calvin Kattar, where visually a lot of guys kind of came at him. because he was running. I don't want to say running. He was moving a lot in the third round, and in the fight he was very movement heavy. And the stats for that fight were like very, very shallow. Not a whole lot of strikes. And the problem is going into this fight, tactically, he's probably going to have to do it even more, considering Josh Emmett's power. I'd imagine he's very heavy on the teeps, very heavy on stuff up the middle. Josh Emmett has been hurt to the midsection before by Yair Rodriguez, and uses a lot. It was really good. I mean, he had a competitive fight with Ilya.
Yeah.
That being said, it was short notice, up a weight class. So
it doesn't even matter. If you could
but-
compete with Ilya Taporia in any regard,
If you're not
then
getting
it's good for
finished
you.
by him, that speaks about your chin.
Yeah.
That also speaks about his movement, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Abus Nurmagomedov versus Joe Pyfer. I hate to say, I feel like the Joe Pyfer hype train is kind of dying a little.
It did
bit.
once he lost.
Once he lost, I mean, there was some hype when he knocked out Marc-Andre Barriou,
Mhm.
but he was really schooled against Jack Hermanson, who fight news, by the way. We might get into that if we have time.
We have a few minutes.
But really got schooled by Jack Hermanson, like a real veterans fight. And his fight against Kelvin Gastelum wasn't really a lot of output. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of hype surrounding him going into this fight week, but he can get ranked here.
Yeah.
I think Abus is 15 at the moment, and he's opened as a plus 195. Also, Abus's last fight against Michel Pereira was not a great fight. I would imagine Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer gets a knockout, honestly.
There's always that possibility with his hands.
I think so. I think
He has the power.
late in the first round or in the second round, because Abus comes out strong, but then will gas a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Looked really bad in his last fight. I think he'll get him. I think Joe Pyfer will get him. He carries power late. We'll probably get him in the second, maybe third round.
I think I want to talk about before, because we obviously are running down on time, but I feel like one of the things I'm interested in going into this card is I want to see what Patchy Mix looks like.
Oh yeah.
Because he looked horrible in his debut.
I think Mario Bautista looked good in that.
He did. He looked really good.
I think we're being harsh to Patchy Mix. He does have that big flaw with just the no head
Mhm.
movement. And he is very flat-footed too on top of that. Like if you were like Yuri, who doesn't move his head but moves very dynamically, you could maybe do something with that.
You can't have
But
no
against-
head movement and be flat-footed.
Yeah, against high-level strikers like Bautista and guys at the top of the division, it's just not going to happen. And people said that guy was a tough matchup for Marab.
Yeah.
So he needs a big win here. And he needs to get on the mic and talk his talk a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, he's got to make a
honestly-
statement.
I would knee up the middle, knockout, cinema.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
He needs a big win. So
I'm going to run through a couple of fights. Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. Edmund Shabazian sort of on this career resurgence, but still gets comeback loss against Gerald Mearshot.
yeah.
I think he's
GM
good.
3.
I think he's good. We love a GM3 performance here.
Mm-hmm.
Muniz looked bad in his loss to Alaskarov, so I'd imagine Edmund Shabazian gets an early KO. I feel like Muniz is old and on the way out, and if you're losing to Paul Craig at middleweight,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to talk about some underdogs. I have 3 underdogs I like. This next fight being one of them. Chris Gutierrez versus Fareed Basharat. We've been seeing the Basharat bros get kind of fraud checked a little bit. I will say Fareed is definitely the better out of the two. And the dude he fought last looked like an absolute tank. He weighed in like 10 pounds over. I think his name like Victor Hugo, or like might be Victor Henry or Victor Hugo. He's Brazilian. But the Basharat twins, like bros, are not the highest level. And I think someone at the level of Chris Gutierrez can get him. I really feel like Gutierrez has a decent chance, and plus 310.
It's good odds.
Pretty decent odds. The thing is, Gutierrez is old, and the thing is, he's smaller than Fareed Basharat. So I feel like Basharat can definitely impose his frame, which is why I wouldn't necessarily go for him, but I am eyeing that 310 as an underdog. 310 is a big number.
Mm-hmm.
Next for my underdogs, at the moment, Daniel Santos versus Jusang Yu, Zombie Jr., is minus 140 for Santos and plus 120 for Jusang Yu. I think those are good odds for Jusang Yu. I bet you by the time that this fight happens, this will be a pick'em fight. Daniel Santos is a 135-pound fighter. He just doesn't feel like making 135 pounds. And Jusang Yu was big at not insanely big, but he's a big guy at 145. I think he can find the chin of Daniel Santos. I think he puts him out, maybe. But it is good to know that this is a prospect versus prospect fight. But if Daniel Santos wins, he's inching closer to the rankings, and he's very good. And then lastly, we talked about Patchy Mix versus Jacob Wicklatz. But I want to talk about Ramiz Bahimaj versus Austin Vanderford. Last year's MSG card, Ramiz Bahimaj came in as a big underdog. Actually, I might have to check myself on that. I think he was the favorite against Mickey Gall. He was the underdog against Billy Ray Goff. Got a big knockout at home and came in there with some real swagger. Since then, had a really good win against Billy Ray Goff, who was a prospect in himself. A big underdog in that fight as well. He's used to being an underdog, and I believe in his improvements as a fighter. I think he's a prospect. And Austin Vanderford is old. I would say he's on the back end of his career. Coming in from Bellator, I think he's a decent underdog, Brahimaj. But real quick, also this weekend, actually this is on Friday, Paul Hughes versus Usman Nurmagomedov. We normally don't talk about any other organizations.
No, I wish we had more time. I think we're out. Just about. Just about. We could run through it quickly. If you didn't see the first fight, MMA outside of the UFC, they had a really good fight. I watched it with a few friends because a lot of my friends are Irish, so they were naturally wanted to watch them. And very close fight.
This is notable because now that Islam's out of 155, it makes sense for Usman Nurmagomedov to make the jump to the UFC because I think they all. I'd imagine that's part of the family plan.
Most likely, yeah.
Khabib's dad. But we'll see with that. I'd like to see Paul Hughes win. I can't lie. I thought he won that first one.
I thought he did too.
Real quick, we'll run through some matchmaking. Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim at UFC Rio is off. That is moved to the Apex. That will be headlining on November 8th. Tembo Garimbo versus Jeremiah Wells will be, I think, the featured bout of the Apex at UFC, November 1st. And then Santiago Ponzinibbio out against Vicente Luque at UFC Rio. Joel Alvarez steps in, making his welterweight debut. Mazteki Oralbai versus Jack Hermanson. UFC Qatar, November 22nd. And then lastly, Benoit Saint Denis versus Beneil Dariush at UFC 322.
That one piques my interest now. Yeah. Both off wins, the way BSD looked recently. So we'll see. We'll talk about that in about a month when that gets closer. But
thank you very much for tuning in, guys.
Yes.
Great. This was a long episode.
It was a long episode. We got through a lot.
This is a big fight week. Like this is big fight feels. I'm very excited for the main event.
So am I.
I'm scared I'm going. I picked Merab and Pereira.
I picked the same. No, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. But thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, guys.
Tune back in next week.